So you're thinking about moving to the Charlotte area. Well, before you pick a neighborhood, a side of the state line, or sign anything, there are about 10 things I wish every person knew first. Some of these will save you money, one or two might surprise you, and a couple are the kind of thing you only find out after you've already moved. I help people relocate here every single week, and I'm so excited, so let's get into it. I'm LAURIE with Keller Williams Connected, and I help families relocate across the entire Charlotte metro area from uptown down into Fort Mill, Rock Hill, and Indian Land on the South Carolina side, and out to Waxhaw, Weddington, and Matthews, and even Pineville. That full metro view matters because a few of these things change depending on exactly where you land. So let's start with the one that nobody warns you about. You ready? Let's go. Number one, when people say they're moving to Charlotte, they usually mean one of a dozen completely different communities. Uptown and South End are walkable and urban. Ballantyne and Matthews are established and suburban. Fort Mill, Rock Hill, and Indian Land are just over the South Carolina line with their own feel entirely. Waxhaw has a small town, more spread out vibe. So the first thing to know is that Charlotte isn't one decision. It's a series of decisions. So don't shop the city, shop the specific community that fits your life and the lifestyle you want. Number two, Charlotte is one of the fastest growing large metro areas in the country, adding roughly 100 new residents every single day. This is driven by jobs in banking, healthcare, and tech. What that means for you as a buyer is desirable homes move quickly and new construction is constantly reshaping suburbs. It's not the frenzy of a few years back, but the good stuff still goes fast. So being ready with financing lined up is a real advantage. Number three, Charlotte is still mostly a car city. Average commutes run around 26 to 30 minutes. Genuinely manageable compared to a lot of big metro areas. There's a light rail. The Lynx Blue Line connects South End to Uptown, and the bus system is expanding. But outside that corridor, plan on driving. So you need to factor in a car, fuel, and insurance into your budget and test your actual commute and commute time at your actual departure time before you commit to an area, because it can make a big difference. Number four, and this is the one that transplants underestimate the most. You ready? The summers. Now, I love heat. However, it's good to know Charlotte genuinely gets hot and humid from June through September, with afternoon temps reaching the 90s on the normal, and pop-up thunderstorms are regular. Winters, on the other hand, are mild. Snow is rare, though an occasional ice event or a few inches of snow here and there can shut the city down for a solid day. Spring and fall are honestly spectacular, but here's the insider warning. Spring pollen is intense. For a few weeks, everything gets coated in yellow. So if you have allergies, that's worth knowing before you fall in love with all the trees. But we definitely get 4 seasons, and that's lovely in my opinion. Number 5, the economy. Charlotte is one of the largest banking centers in the country. It's the headquarters of Bank of America, with a major Wells Fargo presence as well, plus big healthcare employers like Atrium and Novant, energy with Duke Energy, and a growing tech and fintech scene. So even if you're moving in remote, that stability does matter. It underpins home values, it keeps demand steady. It's a big part of why so many people are moving here in the first place and putting down roots. Okay, number 6. And this is the big one that's unique to our area, in my opinion. The South Carolina border runs right through the metro area of Charlotte, and which side you buy on genuinely affects your wallet. South Carolina assesses your primary home at just 4% of its value, which can mean meaningfully lower property taxes than the North Carolina side. But South Carolina has its own perks, including a flat state income tax and no estate tax. So suburbs like Fort Mill, Rock Hill, and Indian Land aren't just a lifestyle choice, they're a tax choice too. I made a whole separate video breaking down the North Carolina versus South Carolina math, and I'll link it here for you because it does deserve that detail. So take a look at that. Number 7, critical in my opinion, especially if you have kids. In this metro area, your specific home address determines your school assignment, not just the town you live in. 2 houses that are a mile apart can feed into very different schools. On the North Carolina side, you've got Charlotte-Mecklenburg. You've also got sought after Union County public schools, plus strong private school options. On the South Carolina side, the Fort Mill School District draws relocating families very specifically for its reputation. The takeaway, if schools matter to you, don't shop by city, shop by attendance zone. Mapping that out for families is something I do on every search. Okay, number 8, you must build a realistic budget. Charlotte's cost of living is moderate compared to the big Northeast and West Coast metro areas, which is a relief for a lot of transplants. But it has risen with all the demand and growth that's happening here. New arrivals often underestimate 2 things: summer air conditioning bills and the difference between in-town prices and what your money buys a little further out. The suburbs and top school zones can swing your budget a lot. Plan for moving costs, deposits, and a cushion to actually explore before you commit, because there's a lot to see here. Number 9, this is a fun one. You'll pick up some local quirks fast. For example, downtown Charlotte, here we call it Uptown Charlotte. There's actually history behind that too. It's a serious sports town, home of the Carolina Panthers, the Charlotte Hornets, with major NASCAR routes in the area as well. And the food, arts, and brewery scene in places like Noda and South End have absolutely exploded. People sometimes call Charlotte generic before they get here, and that impression quickly disappears the second you actually get involved locally. Lean into a neighborhood and it starts feeling like home really quickly. All right, number 10, the one that ties it all together. Choose your community before you fall in love with a specific house. The right answer comes down to 3 questions. Where do you work? And what's your commute tolerance? Do you have or plan to have school-aged kids? And what does your ideal Saturday look like? Answer those honestly, and the metro area of Charlotte narrows itself down for you and makes the choice a lot simpler. The house is the easy part once the area is right. So if you're planning a Charlotte area move and you want a real guide to all of this, the right side of the line for your situation, the school zones, the neighborhoods that fit your budget, well, that's exactly what myself and my husband Josh do across the whole metro area of Charlotte every single day. Yes, we cover both states. There's a link in the description to book a quick call with me. And if you're earlier in the process, grab your free relocation newsletter for neighborhood breakdowns and market updates. All right, here we go. Subscribe for a new Charlotte area video every week, and I'll see you in the next one.